Good morning and welcome back to the next class. Uh, in the previous class, we were discussing about how to design the different kind of circuits, and we tried to implement something like what are the problems associated with the circuits and how to overcome, how to reduce the delay or propagation delay by different techniques. So these things we have studied in the previous lecture. Now let us talk about like all the analysis, whatever we have done previously, that is for the complementary CMOS based circuits. Like there was a pull-up network, there was a pull-down network, and the pull-down and pull-up networks are complementary to each other. And we generally consider the PMOS transistor should be in place of the pull-up network, and the pull-down in the pull-down network, the NMOS transistor should be there. So this is the thing what we have already studied, and there are different challenges in the regions. Okay, now if we can calculate in the CMOS basic structure, in that CMOS basic structure, suppose I have two inputs or whatever the inputs I have, the total number of transistor requirement is double. Like suppose I have an inverter having one input, so we need two transistors. Suppose I need to make two input NAND gate. In that case, I need to utilize the four transistors. So the total transistor requirements is at least double than the number of inputs. At least. Why I'm saying at least? Because if you have to design NAND gate or NOR gate, in that case, you need exactly double the number of inputs. So the number of transistors will be double than the input. But in the same side, if you are trying to design AND gate, OR gate, or something other kind of circuitry, in that case, you need to have some inverter just after the circuit as well. Like directly, you cannot design the AND gate or OR gate. You have to first design the NAND, and then you need to invert it so that you will get the NAND AND operation or OR operation. So this is what the real story behind the CMOS basic structure is. As we can see, all the CMOS based circuit required too many transistors, and that will lead to the area overhead, especially if I'm designing some circuit. Okay, so to overcome that problem, yeah, definitely we have the advantage of the CMOS basic structure, because ideally the static power dissipation should be smaller. Okay, so static power dissipation will be zero. But if the power uh, dissipation is not our prime concern, and if the area is the prime concern, in that case we can go for some other alternative solutions, and those alternative solutions are, I will discuss here, like, and those are, we call them the different logic styles. Okay, so let us try to see what are the different logic style other than the complementary CMOS based circuit, whatever we have already studied. So one of the logic style could be the ratioed logic. What this ratioed logic is, I will tell you. You know this logic. You have already studied this logic, so I will quickly go through it. You know this pseudo kind of structure, right? So, and that is nothing but this is the ratioed logic. Okay. The next one is the pass transistor based logic. This is also really very important, that you need to know what is this the pass transistor logic is. And then another technique could be like this pass transistor logic utilizes the less number of transistors to implement any function. Okay, and but there is a problem with the pass transistor logic, like there will be some threshold voltage degradation. Yeah, how the degradation will be there, I will explain you. And to overcome that degradation, we need to go for the some other alternative, and that alternative is nothing but this is the transmission gate logic. Okay, so this transmission gate logic uh, is the solution for the problems that is associated with the pass transistor logic. Okay, and the other kind of logic style could be the dynamic logic circuits. Okay, so there are four possible logic styles that can be considered. Out of these four, first, second, and third, these three are the static logic design. Okay, Okay, so these three are the static logic circuits, and the fourth one is dynamic one. What is the difference between static and dynamic? I will tell you when I will explain this dynamic logic circuit. But for now, I will explain you the ratioed pass transistor and the transmission gate one. Okay, so let us start with the ratioed one. What is the ratioed one? Ratioed one means like we have already studied this kind of structure before. Like basically, ratioed logic is utilized to attain to reduce the number of transistors required to implement any logic function. Okay, so as we can recall, in the CMOS based structure, we need one pull-up network, one pull-down network, and then we need the equal number of transistors in pull-up and pull-down networks. And based on the number of inputs, the pull-up and pull-down network will be arranged, but the total number of transistors is like 2 to n. Okay, if I have n number of inputs, in that case 2n number of minimum transistors is needed. So to overcome that one, what we can do, we can use two kind of the structure, that is a ratioed structure, and we can keep this PMOS load transistor, which is always in on state, and whatever the function we are implementing, that could be kept in the pull down network. So this kind of structure, we call it the pseudo NMOS logic. Okay, the second one, the second alternative could be like in the first circuit, what we have done, we have kept the load always on, and the function is implemented by with the help of pull down network. But there could be another alternative, like the pull down network or the driver is always in on state. Okay, the driver is always in on state, and the function is implemented with the help of the pull up network. Okay, so these two are the pseudo NMOS logic that can be considered to implement any function, and that will reduce the number of transistors. Okay, so if you see here, the number of transistor.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in this ratio, then that like we saw earlier, that voltage divide wala concept that will only be applicable, right?
Yes. So I will explain. Yeah, you are getting exactly correct point. Like there will be a problem. Like the swing is not possible. Like maximum swing is not possible. So there is a noise margin degradation. So noise margin will be less. Of course, there will be a drop. There will be a problem. Like if the pull-up network is stronger, then it will be quite difficult to get the lower logic. And similarly, if the pull down, like in this second case, if the pull down network is stronger, so it is quite difficult to get the maximum logic. Okay, so there definitely there will be a drop because of this always on transistors. Okay, so the number of transistors, like suppose I have n number of inputs, so in that case the total number of transistors I can assume here is like n plus 1 transistor is needed. Okay, so this is very less as compared to 2n transistors for the CMOS based structure. In CMOS based structure, it was needed like 2n transistor, but for these two ratioed logic, we need n plus 1 transistors. So this is how we can save the number of transistors. Okay, and of course, these logics are inverting in nature. So like whatever the whatever the input will provide, yeah, so this is nothing but like inverting in nature means what? We can implement NAND gate, NOR gate, and inverter. We cannot implement OR gate or AND gate. Okay, so this is the meaning of inverting in nature. So let me write it here. Inverting in nature. It means that we can implement either inverter or NAND gate or NOR gate. So this kind of the logic can be implemented with this ratio. Yes, of course, this is applicable also for the CMOS based structure. In the CMOS based structure also, the nature of the circuit was the inverting in nature. Okay, so this is what the ratio logic is. Okay, so now the question is, let us try to do let us try to implement some function. Like suppose I have the one function f is equal to a plus b into c complement. Okay, so we have two possible alternatives for the ratioed logic. Either I can use the pseudo NMOS logic, or I can use the pseudo PMOS logic. If I am using the pseudo NMOS logic, I need to design the pull down network, and for the pseudo PMOS logic, I need to design the pull up network. So if somehow we can recall the previous designs, what we did while designing the combinational logic circuit, for the pull down designing, whatever the function we have, that we simply the complement of function, whatever the function I have, just I need to complement it, then I will get the pull down network structure. Okay, so let me write something here. Using pseudo NMOS logic. Okay, on parallel I can also write using pseudo PMOS logic. Okay, so if I'm considering the pseudo NMOS logic, in that case the pull down network need to be designed. And if I'm designing the pull down network, what I need to do, whatever the function I have to simply find the complement of this function. Okay, and that will be nothing like a plus b into c. This will be the function, because I am designing the pull down network. Okay, so for pull down designing, I need to simply find the complement of it. Okay, and if I have plus symbol over here, plus symbol simply indicate I need to keep the transistor in the parallel. Okay, and the dot symbol here is that will be the series one. Okay, so the exact circuit will look like this one. So the pull down network will look like this is A, this is B, and I need to keep the transistor C, which will be the series in the series C, and I need to keep ground over here. And this is how the pull down network will look like. And if somehow we can combine the load transistor over here, so the exactly circuit will look like this one. So from here I need to take the output. So this is a structure of this function a plus b into c complement by considering the pseudo NMOS logic. Okay, now if I have to design using the pseudo PMOS logic, can anyone tell how the structure will look like?
Sir, we will have to design the pull down network will be a NMOS transistor with, which is always in on state, and the pull up network will be designed using that a plus, which we have to implement the function f equal to a plus b whole bar into c, a plus b into c whole bar.
Whole bar. So what I need to do, I need to expand it. Okay, so I have to design the pull up network in this case. So f will be, I don't need to find the complement, simply I have the function like a plus b into c complement, and if I apply the de Morgan's theorem over here, so that will become a plus b complement plus c complement, right? And a plus b complement again further, if I expand this one, so that will become a complement dot b complement plus c complement. So this is how this structure, how this function will look like. Okay, and if I already told you, if I'm designing the pull-up network, so whatever the complement is there, that will act as a function. Okay, so that will be in the input, and similarly we can keep it like this. So the circuit will be,
so A and B in series and C in parallel.
yes, so A and B will be in series. Okay, and the parallel, the C will be in parallel to this one.
So it will be PMOS transistor, right?
Sorry. Yeah. So, like this, and this is the VDD. Okay, and now I need to keep one always on PMOS transistor over here. So this is how we can take the output from here. So the circuit will look like this one. Okay, so we can design any of the function with the help of pseudo NMOS logic or the pseudo PMOS logic, and the structure will look like this one. Okay, I have one concern over here. Okay, so this is the simple way how we can design with the help of pseudo NMOS, pseudo logic. Okay, but the thing is, can anyone comment, like I have this function a plus b into c. Okay, so this is the this is how the pull down structure will look like. Okay, so suppose let us assume, is there any problem with this one, like a plus b into c is same as c into a plus b, right? Is it true? There is no problem with this one. I think both are same.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in that case, what will happen if I try to design a circuit with this one? So what could be the structure? The structure will be something like, I need to keep the C over here, and then I need to keep A and B in parallel. Okay, A, B, C, and this is what I'm getting the output, and from here ground, and from here I will get the output. I think there is no problem with the figure 1 and figure 2. Both are same. But what is the problem? Can anyone tell me? Means what kind of challenges with both the circuits? Logically, there is no problem with the circuit. Like both the circuit will equally will work as this function, whatever I have provided. There is no problem in the function. But can anyone tell which of the transistor will be slow, which of the structure will be slower, and which one will be the faster one?
Sir, in the first case, that the first resistance we encounter will be R by 2, something like that.
The second one also there, like if you see the first one, the worst case will be R by 2 plus R. And in the second one also R plus R by 2. That's it.
So some internal voltage difference, I think.
Internal, perfect. Absolutely correct. Who is that?
Bhavesh.
Bhavesh. Okay. Yes, absolutely correct. Because see here, if you see the first case, in the first case, what is happening? In the first case, whatever the voltage drop across, like if the C is on, this transistor C is C is on, in that case this transistor will be on, and whatever the voltage VDS will be here, that will affect the body of these two transistors. Okay, A and B. Okay, and if you see here, because if both are on, so the internal voltage here will be less. So if the internal voltage is less, the effective voltage body biasing on this C will be less. Okay, so the effect of body biasing on C will be less as compared to this one. So because I have in the pull down, we have only one transistor and the resistance will be R, and in this case the worst case resistance will be R by 2. Okay, and if the worst case resistance is R by 2, the internal voltage at this point will be half than this one. Okay, so if the voltage at this node is higher than this one, so the effect of body biasing in this structure will be more as compared to this one. So this structure will be slower than this one. You're getting the points? This point is clear what I explained? So absolutely correct. Like the body biasing will play a major role how we are structuring the device, the circuits. Okay, so this is really very important to understand the concept of internal voltage at certain nodes, and how they will affect the body of other transistors. Okay, so this is really, see, it looks like after seeing this expression in digital electronics, you have studied like, yes, there is no problem in this expression, in this expression, and both are equal, both will perform equal. But in reality, if we try to implement on the CMOS structure, definitely there is a problem, or there is a difference is in this expression and this expression. Okay, so this is important to understand. Okay, so this is all about how we can implement the function. Yes, so what was the problem with this one? The problem with this particular circuit was like, because the pull-up network is always in on state, and if the pull-down network is in on state, so based on the strength of pull-up and pull-down network, the maximum swing was decided. We have already studied in the previously we had studied this one. Okay, this kind of inverter we have studied. Okay, so the transistor sizing play a major role. What will be the maximum on and the minimum swing at the output side? Okay, and so in any case, like in ideally this should be in between VDD to 0, but practically it is not possible because both the transistors are on. So one transistor will try to pull up and one transistor will try to pull down. So based on the strength of pull up or pull down network, the voltage will be either higher side or towards the lower side. Okay, to overcome that problem, there is an alternative solution for that, and that solution is nothing but like the differential cascade voltage switch logic is one of the solution, and that combines two concepts. One concept is the differential logic, and the second concept is the positive feedback one. Okay, so how this logic has been implemented, see here. Don't see the second figure. Let me explain the first figure. Then I think I have not included the animation here. Okay, fine. Let us try to discuss this first figure. How this figure will be utilized to solve the problem of the voltage drop. Okay, and also like if you see in the previous case, in this particular case, what we know that like if pull-up network, because if you see the first circuit, in the first circuit the pull-up network is always on, and if the pull-down network is also on, in that case there is a threshold voltage, there is a swing problem, like we cannot get the complete swing. And this is the one problem. And the second problem is because the pull-up network and the pull-down network both are in on state, we will get the rail to rail voltage from VDD to ground, and that will increase the total power dissipation. So there is two problems associated with this kind of logic. One is the reduced noise margin, and the second one is the increased static power dissipation. Okay, so to overcome these two problems, this DC VSL kind of concept can be utilized, and this concept uses two different concepts. The first one is the differential logic, and the second one is the positive feedback. What is the differential logic? Let me tell you. So here is the first section. This is the first block. So let me use the pencil. So this is the first block, and this is the second block. Okay, first block and the second blocks are complementary to each other. Like whatever the pull down network structure I have here, if the transistors are in the series, so in the PDN2 the transistors will be in the parallel. If the input of PDN1 is like ABC, so the input of PDN2 will be like A bar, B bar, C bar. Okay, so this is the difference between the PDN1 and PDN2, and the output of one circuit will be connected to the gate of this load, and the output of second one will be connected to the gate of this load. So what is the benefit of this one? The benefit is like these transistors are not always on. If these two transistors are not always on, in that case, that the power dissipation which was from rail to rail, that can be avoided. Okay, so to avoid power dissipation, we can utilize this DC VSL structure. Okay, let us see how this circuit works. Okay, so is there any question how this what is the concept about this one? So let us try to implement the and NAND structure. Yes, of course, one more important thing, the output of these two are the complementary to each other. That is why we are calling it the differential logic, because we are getting both kind of output and the complement of output. So we call it the differential one. We are calling it is having positive feedback because the output is feedback to the input of one of the thing, and the output of this one is connected to the input of this one. So that is why we are calling the positive feedback one. So the positive feedback is to operate these load transistors, and the differential logic is to get both the logics, like the output and the complement of it. Okay, so that will help you. So you will get one benefit, like suppose I have to implement the NAND gate and the NAND gate and AND gate. So you don't need to use NAND and then you need to invert it. Simply a single structure can be utilized as a NAND and AND one. Okay, so based on the function, whatever you have, that you can decide here. Okay, so let us try to implement the NAND and AND one. So what I just told you, the whatever the input I have provided to the pull down network, that will be the complementary to the PDN2, first one. And the second one, like if the transistors are in series, then the transistors here will be in the parallel. Okay, so this is the difference. So see here, if I have provided two transistors in the series in the first block, okay, if I have provided two transistors in the series in the first block, and I have provided input A and B here, so in the second pull down network, I need to put both the transistors should be in the parallel and the input should be the complementary to it. Okay, so let us try to understand how this circuit is working. Okay, so if, let me make the truth table, A bar, B bar, out and out bar. Okay, so 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. So it will be like 1 1 0 0 and 1 0 1 0. Okay, so this is the truth table. Now let us try to validate it. If A and B, like if any of the input like A or B is 0, this structure will not work. Okay, either A or B is 0. In this case, this will not work. Okay, but like and so what will happen? This let us talk about this one. If either A bar is 0, A bar is 1 or B bar is 1, in that case this node will be logic 0. Okay, so let us try to see A bar and B bar. If any one of the A bar or B bar is 1, in that case this node will be connected to here. Okay, so I need to check A bar and B bar. So here both are on, so out bar will be 0. In this case again it will be 0. In this case again it will be 0, and in this case it will be 1. Okay, and if you see here, if both are on, in that case this will be 0. Okay, so this will be 0 if A and B is equal to 1. So A and B is equal to 1, then it will be 0, and for other cases it will be like 1 1 1. So if you see here, the structure looks like this one. So if it is 0, this will activate this one and this logic will work. Okay, and similarly if this is 0, and this will activate this transistor and this logic will work. So if you see here, this output is just like AND gate in the NAND gate. So this is how we can design a particular logic based on this differential cascade voltage switch logic. Okay, is there any question from here? Anyone? So 2 points that need to be you need to remember. The first point is, like, I have 2 pull down networks. One pull down network is a complementary to second pull down network. Like if it is in series, then second one will be the parallel and vice versa. This is the first thing. And the second thing is, whatever the input I have provided to the first pull down network, the input to the second pull down network will be the complementary of it. Okay, so these 2 things need to be mentioned, and then you need to design a circuit. So this is how this differential cascade voltage switch logic will work. So this will save the power dissipation, like the short circuit power dissipation between VDD and the ground one. Okay, so this was the differential cascade voltage swing logic. There is some question.
Sir?
Yeah, please.
Sir, in the previous pseudo and MOS, how it is like, can you explain that noise margin part?
Yeah, let me go to that one. Here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what will happen? See here. So let me go to the previous slide. Here. Suppose I have this one pseudo NMOS logic, right? So suppose I just want to implement the inverter circuit. Okay. So in the inverter circuit, how it will look like? It will be something like this. Will be the PMOS transistor, and then I will have one NMOS transistor where I have provided the input A, let us assume, and here I have the ground, and this is something like this. Okay. If let us assume if A is equal to 0, in that case, Y is nothing but this is the 1, because A is 0, this will be off, this will be in on state. So the VDD that will be transferred to the Y through this PMOS transistor. But if A is equal to 1, in this case, both the transistors are in on state. Okay, if both the transistors are in on state, so what I will get? I will get an equivalent circuit, something like this. Okay, something like this one. So the output voltage, so initially, like if A was 0, in that case, I was getting the VDD. Okay, the maximum VDD I was getting. But if A is equal to 1, in that case, both the transistors are in on state. Now the voltage divider circuit will be formed. And if the voltage divider circuit will be formed, in that case, the voltage at the output is nothing but, let's assume this is the R1, this is the R2. So this V output, yeah, Y will be nothing but this will be R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into the VDD. Okay, so now the maximum voltage which if R1 is equal to R2, then I will get half of this one. So the minimum swing I will get like VDD by 2. Okay, so this will be a swing. And if I'm changing this R2, like if I'm increasing this R2, so the swing will be something like it will be shifted somewhere here. So the noise margin is calculated with this point and this point. So based on the size of these transistors, like the pull down network and the pull up network, we can decide the noise margin. I think this I have already explained you previously.
Yes, I understood.
You got the point?
Yes.
Okay. So this is how it could be. Yeah, I have already explained. That is why I did not explain now, because we have done these things before.
And sir, then that cascade circuit, we are using the same number of transistors, right?
Yeah, so
like,
no, if you see here
same.
in the cascade one, we have increased the transistor by double. Okay, but the benefit is like we are getting 2 different kind of logics. We are getting AND gate and OR gate, so we can save the okay. Now suppose I have to make a 2 input NAND gate. So how many transistors we need? We need 4 transistors. And for AND, we need to invert it. So total number of transistors will be 6, right? So total transistor will be 6. And here, if you see, I am getting AND and NAND both, and the total number of transistors are also 6 here. But the thing is, if we will increase the number of inputs, like 3 input, so I will increase 1 transistor over here and 1 more transistor over here. So the total number of transistors will be like 3 plus 3, 6 plus 2, 8. 8 transistors will be needed. And but if I'm using the CMOS based structure, so for 3 input, I need 6 transistor plus 2 transistor for this one. I think the number of transistors will be same as the previous one. But the thing is, like the number of paths here is a single transistor. So the TPLH will be reduced. So this kind of benefit you can get.
Yes, we will get like area benefit there.
Area is almost same. There is no change in the area.
Like sir, in the previous implementation, we were using like same number of PMOS. But in this we are using like 4 NMOS के साथ हम 2 PMOS use कर रहे हैं तो.
Yes. So we can utilize it like as a benefit, like so two benefit, like area efficient, first one, and the second one is like the leakage problem which was there. Like we are not getting like the direct rail to rail connection is there is no rail to rail connection. If this is on, then this will be off, and vice versa. So the power dissipation will be reduced. So that kind of benefit we will get out of it.
And sir, one more question. We are getting AND and NAND logic at the same simultaneously.
Yes.
So is it usable? Like,
yeah, why not? Why not? It is usable. See, suppose this is also one of the benefit of this structure. See, suppose I have implemented a 2-input NAND gate. For example, I have implemented a 2-input NOR gate, for example. Okay, and then I need to pass it through an inverter to get the. So here I am getting A dot B, A plus B bar. Okay, so here A and B, and here I will get A plus B. Okay, so whatever the delay of this circuit I have, let us assume the delay is G1 and the delay for this circuit is G2. So I will get like A plus B complement after G1 time. But if I have to get A plus B, then I need to wait for G1 plus G2 time. But here the single delay is there. So we are getting both the function at the same time. Okay, so might be in some function you need ANDing as well as NAND. Okay, so might be in some function, like suppose I have the function which is F is equal to A dot B bar plus, let us assume, C into A B, something like that. So in that case, you will get these two functions at the same time. You don't need to wait for the next time period. So the delay will be, the overall delay will be reduced. You're getting the point of what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So suppose I have a function something like that. In that case, we can have a less delay. Okay. You don't need to wait for 2-stage delay. You can extend this analysis with the single delay component. Okay. So this is the benefit of this particular logic structure. Okay. So yeah, so I have, yeah, so here are some questions for the homework, and I'm expecting you will solve these 4 problems. The first problem is like design a pseudo NMOS based logic for the function A dot B plus CD bar, and calculate the area and compare with the CMOS based structure, and then sizing of the transistor to achieve VDD by 2. V out is equal to VDD by 2. Second one is repeat the same problem with the help of pseudo PMOS structure. Okay, it seems like it may look like the NMOS and PMOS is nothing. NMOS based logic and the PMOS based logic are just you need to complement it. Keep one driver on in one case and the keep load on in another case. It's not like that. If you are implementing some function, because there is a mobility degradation in both the transistor, mobility difference in both kind of transistor, in PMOS and NMOS transistor, to get same kind of performance, might be the transistor sizing need to be changed if you are changing NMOS to PMOS based pseudo structure. Okay, so this is really very important. After solving these 2 problems, you will be able to understand what are the challenges associated with these 2 structures, because ideally it looks like the number of transistors are same, but the problem is you need to increase the sizing in one case so that you can achieve the same kind of performances. Okay, so what those challenges are, just solve this problem at home and then come up with the solution, what kind of solution you are getting. And yeah, this is the third question, which of the above two design is area efficient for the same time kind of characteristics? So you need to answer this question. And the fourth question is design DCDSL based XOR and XOR logic. Okay, so this is the homework, you just please do it at home. And yeah, these all are very easy, so you have done it, so you can do it, that's not a problem. Next kind of the logic style is the pass transistor logic. Okay, what this pass transistor logic is, because if you can recall, we have studied two kind of circuit. The first circuit was the CMOS based structure. Second circuit was the pseudo structure, or the ratioed logic. Okay, so the ratioed logic was utilized to reduce the number of transistors, but the problem with the ratioed logic was like the power dissipation was more. Okay, to overcome these two problems, both the problems, we can have one more alternative, and that alternative is nothing but this is the pass transistor logic. Okay, so what this pass transistor logic is, yes, one more difference between the pass transistor logic and the other two structure what we have already studied, like pseudo or the ratioed one and the complementary CMOS structure. The difference between the pseudo and MOS and the CMOS and the pass transistor logic is, pass transistor logic does not require direct power supply to operate the transistors. It can be operated from the logics only. Okay, whereas the CMOS based structure and the ratioed logic required the supply voltage and the ground, and that is needed to operate the circuit. Okay, let me repeat it again, this is really very important. The CMOS structure what we have studied and the ratioed logic, these two kind of logic style require the VDD and the ground to operate the circuit. Okay, this is the first thing. Whereas the pass transistor logic does not require any external supply voltage. Even the input logic can act as a source, or it can transfer the logic. Okay, so this is the one benefit. Second benefit is the number of transistors drastically reduces. Okay, how this reduces, let me explain this slide, then you will be able to understand what is the meaning of this one. So suppose I have kept two transistors which are in the series, NMOS transistor which are in the series, and if you see here, I have not provided anywhere, the VDD has not been provided. I have not connected the VDD anywhere. So you don't need the additional supply voltage. Even the input logic or the whatever the A and B we have and the input, that can act as a supply to power on these kind of circuits. Okay, so this is one of the greatest benefit of this pass transistor logic. Okay, so suppose I have two transistors which are in the series. In that case, how the function will look like? So I can have the four possible combinations, like A and B are 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. Okay, so if both A and B are 0, so because these are the NMOS transistors, so both the transistors will be in the off state. And if both the transistors in off state, this initially let us assume I have the load capacitance which is connected over here, okay, at the output, and this load capacitance is initially, let us assume it is discharged. Okay, so if it is discharged, in that case, if A is equal to 0, B is equal to 0, F will be 0. In the second case, again the F will be 0. In the third case, again this F will be 0. But if A and B both are 1, in that case, based on this input value, this function output will be charged. Like if Vin is equal to 1, then this 1 can be transferred to this F, because this both the transistors are in on state. Okay, so this is the function. Like now this becomes the function of input. Okay, so can anyone tell if I have the combination something like this, which kind of logic it looks like?
And
this is the AND kind of a structure. Yes, perfect. So if I have these two kind of two transistors which are in series, so this looks like an AND. So if input is equal to 1, in that case this will completely act as an AND gate. But if input is equal to 0, then it will be like simply 0. Okay, so but this logic can act as a AND logic. Okay, so this, let me write it, AND gate. Now let's talk about the second. Yeah, what are the challenges? I will tell you, no problem.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, we are applying some voltage, right? Because to make A and B one, we need to apply some.
Yes.
Then how we can say that there is no biasing kind of VDD?
See, this A and B are the signals, not the exact supply voltage. So this A and B can vary between 0 and 1. These are the, simply let us assume these are the pulse train. Okay, so definitely the pulse train has some magnitude like 0 and 1, but the separate supply voltage like exactly VDD is not needed. Okay, even though, yes, you're absolutely correct. Like, because if I have provided like A and B as a pulse train, definitely there will be a swing between 0 and the VDD, but the separate supply is not needed. Input itself can charge up this transistor. Okay, so this is the reason what I'm saying.
And sir, sir, A and B are our input, and what is V in? Is it VDD or
V in like any variable? I'm just keeping the variable that just to understand. I will explain it later on in more detail how we can utilize this circuit to design the AND gate. So V in like any other variable. Like let us assume there is one more signal like 0 and 0, 1, something like this. So if it is 1, in that case it will act as an AND gate, and if it is 0, so in that case even though both the transistors are on, it will pass the logic 0 only. So the function will be 0. Okay, so this V in is nothing but the additional input, but later on when I will explain in more detail to implement a particular function, then this V in will be removed. Okay, so how that will be removed, please wait for next slide, and then you will be able to understand what I'm saying. Okay, please wait. I will tell you in detail. So, and then after you don't need to ask the question. Okay, suppose I have another combination which I have kept both the NMOS transistor in the parallel, and if it is something like this, so let us see what could be the output. 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. If both the transistors A and B are 0, so both the transistor will be in off state, and I am assuming that whatever the load capacitance I have connected over here, initially it is discharged. Okay, so if it is initially discharged, in that case the F will be 0. But in case any of these transistor is on, then whatever the input I have, that will be reflected to the F. So now that will become the function of V in. So in any of the cases, this will be the function of V input, function of V input. So how this structure will look like? Can anyone suggest?
OR gate.
Or
this is nothing but this looks like an OR gate. Okay, now you can remember, like if I have to design an AND gate based on the CMOS based structure, in that case what I need a NAND gate, then I need to pass it through an inverter. So for NAND gate I need 4 transistors, and for inverter I need 2 more transistors. So total number of transistors needed to design AND gate is 6. But here we can design AND gate with the help of only 2 transistors, and this is the beauty of this logic. Okay, but yes, we will not get always benefit. There is some problem. What those problems are, I will tell you. So let us quickly finish 2 other structures, then we can go with that one. Suppose I have kept 2 PMOS transistors in the series having 2 inputs. So the possibility could be like 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So how the function will look like if both are 0? In that case, this becomes the function of
all will be f of Vn except last one will be 0.
How?
Sir, no, sorry. Only first one will be f of Vn, and all
other will be 0. Yes. So how this will look like?
Sir, NOR gate.
This will look like a NOR gate. Okay. And let us talk about the fourth combination. I have the two NMOS transistors which are in the series in the parallel, and I have 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So how it will look like? If any one of the input is 0, in that case that will be the function of input, right? So this will be the function of input, function of input, function of input, and in this case it will be 0. So how it will look like now?
NAND gate.
This will be like a NAND gate. Okay, so this is the basics of the passed transistor logic. We will discuss more detail about the passed transistor logic in the next class. Okay, so yeah, here I am assuming the capacitor is connected over here, and the CL is here. Again, CL is connected over here. Okay, so I'm closing the session over here.